To start off, I'm not a pro Hellgator. I'm not on Native or Sun's top crystal team. I'm a tank main who's learned quite a bit from scrimming, crystals, and a lot of Hellgates. Something that I haven't really seen for Albion Online is a 5v5 Hellgate tutorial series. So I'm here to share with people the things that I've learned and continue to learn. Also, I'm only going to be talking specifically about 5v5 Hellgates, so unless I state otherwise, when I say Hellgate or Hellgates, I mean 5v5s. If you have absolutely no 5v5 experience, I do recommend you play a few arena matches first to figure out a couple things like using your build, spacing, and communication. In all 5v5 Hellgates, players end up actually dying, and with Albion being full loot, you can end up losing quite a lot of money. If you've played any Hellgates, this video likely won't tell you anything you don't already know. Now, with all of these things said, let's get into it. So you and 4 of your buddies get together and say, "Hey, I hear Hellgates are really good fame and more interesting than PvE." They're correct, and this collides us with the first bit of actual information you need to know. What is a 5v5 Hellgate and how do you do them? Think of Hellgates as effectively an instance-based game mode inside of Albion. You kill a mob in the open world, jump inside a portal, and get matched up against another team to fight. To complete a Hellgate, you'll need to kill 5 mini-bosses on the perimeter before the big boss in the center spawns. Killing him drops a good chunk of loot, some decent silver, and some real nice fame.
Yeah, boy.
These rewards are dependent on which type of Hellgate you're in, but we'll get to that later. A couple of notes here. Teams are dropped into Hellgates at different locations. Teams can also spawn in at different times, so you could be completing the second boss when a team walks up to you with their bubble from just spawning in. Sometimes there aren't enough teams attempting to do your type of Hellgate and you won't face another team, effectively a free Hellgate. Getting into a Hellgate requires a channel, so be careful if people are around while you're attempting to get in. They could be looking to pick one of you off and your team ends up with less than 5 people in that Hellgate. Sometimes it's necessary to sacrifice the big boss fame in order to beat the other team and come out alive. Hellgates spawn in yellow, red, and black zones. Yellow zones are exclusively 5v5 Hellgates, whereas red and black zone 5v5 Hellgates spawn in even tiers, so T4, T6, and T8. You can also tell the difference between the two visually on your minimap if you ever question yourself. A 5's Hellgate is red, while a 2's Hellgate is orange. Hellgates all spawn inside of a specific area on the map that always looks the exact same. This can be useful for scouting out distances to another Hellgate or just knowing where to go when the Hellgate is down. Now to clear something up, when anyone refers to red Hellgates, they're also referring to black zone Hellgates. This is because they queue into each other since they have the exact same rule sets for IP. Hellgates spawn every 10 minutes and I highly recommend you join the 24/7 Hellgate Discord server. It actually has a specific channel for when Hellgates spawn. It's also a great way of finding people if you don't have a full team. Next up are IP rule sets. This is where yellow and red Hellgates really differ outside of the obvious loot and fame differences. IP caps are applied to individual pieces of gear and include mastery along with specialization bonuses. Yellow gates have a 700 IP soft cap with a squish of 80%. So after your gear hits 700 IP, all IP above is reduced by 80%. This translates to most people running T4 or 4.1 gear in yellows. The exception to this is with weapons that might need a higher tier for a specific ability. Like if a Great Hammer tank wants Inertia Ring, they'll need a T6. Red Hellgates have a much higher IP soft cap at 1000, and a squish of only 50%. This translates to red gates typically having a much higher gear cost than yellows, but the rewards are certainly there if you can win. Hopefully this video can give people looking to get into 5v5 Hellgates a solid basis before jumping in, and maybe you even learn something yourself. If you enjoyed the video, I'm going to try to continue making more, and it's looking like up next I'll be going into some tips on communication and the different typical roles before moving into specific tanking tips. So be on the lookout for those. I'll likely be pulling together a Patreon at some point, so if you're interested in supporting this kind of content for Albion Online, stick around and tell your friends about it. For now though, I'm Frosty2200, and I'll see you guys out there.
Why are you so awkward, bud?
Fuck, you're so awkward, bud.